What's up, everybody? And I am so excited, man. This year has just gotten better for all of you because I have one of my most favorite people in the city on the show today. And it's gonna be dope, man. So stop whatever you're doing. Lock in, and you're going to learn some stuff today. But before I get into that, man, we are at The Ladder Podcast. It is your host, Justin Strickland, and this is a podcast all about leadership. And every now and then, I get the wonderful privilege to bring on a leader to give you guys the gem, to pull back the curtain and get you so you can see how leaders in this world are being successful and things you can take from them. So I'm super excited. You might have seen him on TikTok. You might have seen him on YouTube. You've seen him on Instagram. You might have even seen his comedy special. I have Cameron BigCamIAm Smith on the pod today, man.
What's up with it?
What it do, brother?
What's up with it, dog?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, I'm good,
Hey,
bro.
man, I'm super excited. Can you tell the people, I always like to start with this, man. What's 3 things people should know about you before we get into this episode?
Well, thing number 1 is I love God.
Come on,
you know
now.
What I'm saying? Jesus.
Hallelujah.
You know,
Hallelujah.
God, Jesus.
Come on,
you know.
now. Hey,
that one.
Come on now.
Nah, man, I love God. You know, I love my family.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, man, I'm just a dreamer. I'm not willing to be boxed in with, you know, what's the status quo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I believe exceedingly abundantly is in my future, man. So that's what I'm on.
No, that's dope.
Yes,
That's
sir.
super dope. I
Yes,
love
sir.
that. I love that. Hey, and as a fellow dreamer,
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to be in the room. I'm happy to be
here,
room,
man. I've been waiting. I told
Hey,
you, bro.
man, I know, man.
Like, man, he's interviewing
this the
everybody
thing,
but
bro.
me. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody else ain't really been famous. This is the first famous person that I've been able to bring over on the pod. But so, it's all about leadership, man. And honestly, we've known each other for almost a decade now, which is crazy how time flies.
Yeah, you know how we met.
Yeah,
Well, not how we met, but
Oh yeah,
you remember when you left me
Yeah,
hanging.
So
Yeah, that was crazy.
Hey man, so somebody else left me hanging first.
But I'm saying though,
And then-
2 wrongs don't make a right.
That's true.
That was
That's
the longest
true.
season of my
Me
life.
and Cam was coaching together, and I quit.
He
so
quit.
I quit. I was kind of forced out. I was forced out. I was given an ultimatum. I was forced out.
Yeah.
And I came to games, and Cam didn't look happy. And I was sad about
wasn't.
how unhappy Cam was.
So he's made me more unhappy and left me by myself for the longest 4 months in the history. I promise that 4 months.
It's a long season.
That's why these grades came from 10 years ago. That season. That's where
Every single one.
every one of them.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
That was a stressful season.
Yeah.
That was a stressful season, man. But yeah, man. So like honestly, since I've known you, you've been leading men, leading young men, leading the community. When did you first discover like I'm a little different? Like I can, you know what I'm saying, really impact some things.
You just unlocked a memory, a core memory.
Oh, that's dope.
I remember I was about 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
Was at the church picnic, and this park was like different. Like it had this little village, this little kid village where we could go play.
Yeah.
And so like all my friends and cousins and everything, they kept going back and forth from the village to like where the food was at.
Okay.
And they just kept, all right, y'all, let's go here. Oh, yeah, let's go back. I'm like, bro, like, what are we doing? Like, follow the leader? Like, let's settle down.
Yeah.
And so they went down and they went back. And I was like, man, I'll be up there in a minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do me.
Yeah.
And so I'm just still a kid playing around. I sneak up there. Nobody sees me come up there. And I'm in one of the houses, like, next to the other houses. And I hear one of the kids in there, like, talking to my cousin, like, man, your cousin Cam, man, he different, man. Something I ain't saying. She was like, don't be talking about my cousin. She was a real one. You know what I'm saying? She was ready to pop off.
Yeah.
He was like, don't be talking about my cousin. He was like, nah, I ain't saying it in a negative way. He just different. Like, he just be on his own thing. And so that moment is like a core memory for me, almost like the precipice of when I realized, like, I'm just separate. I'm different.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a dude. What I believe is right.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's, 50 people in the room against me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My convictions are going to lead the way. And that's not to say that, I'm one of those bullheaded people that's not open to perspective.
Yeah.
I'm extremely open to perspective.
Yeah.
But what I notice is this herd mentality of people that is like just carrying the general responses of the whole freaking world. I'm like, bro, like ain't nobody got nothing different to say.
Yeah.
Don't nobody see what I see.
Yeah.
Nah, let me put it out there and be the voice so that the other people that do see it have an opportunity to voice it as well. So
Yeah.
that's really what I be on.
No, that's super dope, man.
Yes, sir.
And it's so interesting how like a lot of times there's something that we feel about ourselves, but it's usually someone else that confirms it.
Yeah.
Because I think about like even like when I was playing ball, like it really wasn't until I had a coach when I was older that was like, hey, bro, like you can go. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
say less.
Yeah.
Say less. I
Hey,
really can.
Hey, he can.
Hey, I really can.
Saw him win chips.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
And until after that, I didn't need nobody else.
Yes, sir.
But it was like I needed one other person to see it.
Yeah.
And be like, I knew I saw that.
Yeah.
And so that's just interesting how you snuck in
Yeah.
to your awakening.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's dope. That's super dope,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I know you. A lot of people might not notice about it. I knew you as a musician. When I first met you,
A lot of people don't respect me on that
when I
lane.
first met you, you were a
Man.
musician.
Man.
And so right now, and so for my audience who might be new to Cam,
Yeah.
Cam is a partner on YouTube,
Yeah.
partner on TikTok,
Okay.
blowing up on Instagram,
Yeah.
and fully monetized across platforms.
Yeah.
Gets invited to all the cool events that that me and Nate don't.
It'd be
All right.
cool. I mean, it'd be
All right.
cool. It'd be
You know what I'm
cool.
saying? Good food,
Yeah.
soups and stuff. Me and Nate be here. But you know what I'm saying? And so you have a very unique style.
Yes, sir.
Right? Like I don't see nobody else doing what you're doing
I appreciate
in that lane. I think that's super dope. So talk to me how your start in the church as a musician
Yeah.
and that kind of led to what you do now and who you are now.
So growing up in church, I was always sitting by the drums.
Okay.
I wanted to be a drummer so bad.
Yeah.
And
I was a drummer for a little bit.
hey,
I
congrats.
played the drums for a little bit.
I played. I wasn't good, but I played. I sat by the drum. I remember my uncle. He had prayed over my cousin.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, he prayed like an anointing of like the keys on, bro.
Oh.
And he's amazing.
Got you.
He's on albums and everything.
Got
Like, he's
you.
traveled the world with his gift.
Yeah.
So I went to Unc. I was like, hey, pray for me to play the drums.
Yeah.
I really feel a keyboard anointing. No, I was like, but I don't want
I want the drums.
I want to play
I
the
was
drums.
very specific.
I'm gonna play for you to play the keyboard. All right, bro. I lift my hand. So boom, I become a keyboardist. And I started making beats when I was like 14 because
Okay.
I loved music. Wanted to be a producer, rapper.
Yeah.
Kanye was my favorite rapper
Got
in the
you,
day.
got you.
know, I miss the old Kanye.
Man.
Anyway, but yeah, man. So gospel music. It is so funny you even ask, because I'm gonna take this moment to say, bro, I'm so sick of these lullabies, bro. I'm so sick of this happy, happy, joy, joy. Jesus,
We miss
is
God.
here to get the deer
Come
out
on
of the
now.
water with the. I don't, bro. Play the drums, play the bass, play the keys. Give me some synth, give me some horns.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
get back to the vibes. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
And
I'm
so
with you.
that was really what made me want to make beats, was just the music I
layer.
grew up around.
Yeah,
I
'cause
grew up
gospel
around so many
music is
dope
layered.
musicians. Yeah. And my mom, she was a choir director for
Okay.
40 years.
Okay.
My dad was a singer. I don't know why I didn't get neither one of their voices. But I was the last one, so I feel like it kind of ran out with my siblings. I was the fourth one.
They
so
used it all up.
yeah, like it was like 200% voice. And, my siblings all got a nice chunk.
Yeah.
And nothing was left. But it's cool. And so I got into like music production, and later on became a musician in the church, played for like 15 years for a church.
Yeah.
And then, everything just came together. Music production, graduated with a film and media degree, film production, music, everything came together. So it's kind of crazy that one of the biggest things I'm known for, my jingle, another satisfying racial moment, is a fusion of music, video, my passion for production and everything else. Hit them with the little T-Pain auto-tune on there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, that's dope,
yeah,
man.
so
super
that's
dope.
how we got there.
Yeah, man. I feel like, and I think people talk about this some, but I mean, it's really just interesting to me how like a lot of our black creatives almost all have an origin in the black church.
Yeah.
And they talk about being around choirs and being around the horns and the organs and people even praying for them or pointing them like, hey, you got a gift.
Yeah.
And that being like the launching pad for just their permission to be creative.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, I teach.
Yeah.
And I was a part of the talent show committee years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking like, man, why can't these kids sing?
Because they unchurched.
They unchurched.
They're unchurched.
We were singing altos. We were singing three-part harmony at the age of 7.
You got to.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
They growing up listening to, whatever's on the radio. These people that's super auto-tuned, and they trying to do this computerized voice with what they got, and it's not there. So
I never thought about that, but that's real.
That's why they can't
sing,
because
I had to learn how to hold a tune. Like, I can't sing.
Yeah.
But if I hear you, I can meet you.
You can lock in.
Yeah, I can meet you there. Yeah. And so when the director give me the note, I can hold on to it.
And then you got the plays,
100%.
the church plays.
Yeah.
I was in the church plays growing up, and I remember being so scared and such a shy kid. Mm-hmm. But the church plays was the first time I really got out in front of people.
Got you.
And I delivered a joke and they laughed. And I'm like,
oh, the host.
I like that.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, what's that I feel in my veins, in my chest? Hold on, I like that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think the black church, man, the gospel, just the plays, the music, all of that stuff, I think it infuses the creativity. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think for a lot of young people, it gives space for it.
Yeah.
Because I think about that all the time, like because I'm in education too, and it's like so much of how adults interact with kids is about training, is about discipline. And I think those things are important, but it seems like sometimes we forget about creating space for joy and space for play.
Yeah.
And because now when we become adults, the adults that are good at joy and good at play are successful.
Yeah.
The ones that can capture it and have a childlike just dignity to their lives. Yep. You look at them like, bro, you look light.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like we should be teaching more of that.
Yeah.
And creating space for that.
That's fine.
I love that you have a film degree.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. And so you are so creative. A lot of people don't know you were a fantastic athlete.
Man.
And so, Wyandotte County got some dope athletes. You're one of them.
You almost, you touch them heartstrings.
Like, you one of them.
I appreciate that.
You went Division I out of high school. Yeah. No JUCO needed.
Yeah.
You was D1 off the podium. You was ready to go.
All state.
Come on, like you was ready to rock.
All conference, all city, all star.
You was that dude.
Can I pop off when we talking sports? Because I be having to hold my head down.
I know, but you was that dude.
But the football player in me, when I put the hand in the dirt, it was a different.
Come on,
that was killer camp,
bro. You was a monster.
You know
and a lot of people don't know that because you so gentle, you so nice now. Yeah. People don't know.
Yeah, that's why people be thinking it's sweet because I'm so nice.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not. Like I was telling Nate, I'm like, hey, I got Cam coming out. He a big dude, man. Yeah. Make sure you got the seat set. I'm just letting you know. Cam like 6'5". He's solid. That's my guy.
Yeah.
And they was like, oh, all right, I got it. He's ready. But talk to me about how you go to school. Did you know you wanted to do film? Or did you discover that in college?
So I discovered it in college.
Okay.
So my whole life was focused on football.
Yeah.
From literally the age of 4 or 5, I knew I wanted to play in the NFL. I wanted to play college football.
Yeah.
Cowboys was good. I ain't gonna date. Dang, I just dated myself because the Cowboys ain't been good for a long time.
Oh, for a while.
Yeah.
Since your childhood.
You're right.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, now you
know. Yeah, I wasn't a kid in the 80s. I wasn't a child I was a baby. I was a toddler, but I wasn't no child in the 80s. No, but anybody that watch my content, y'all see my references. Y'all see I'm gonna get you sucker. You see Friday, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But so I knew I wanted to play football. So boom, mom never had to talk to me about get your grades up. Nothing. I was locked. Mm-hmm. Like from a young age. So boom, I ended up going to school, go to University of Minnesota. I told you I started making beats when I was 14.
Yep.
So that was in the back of my mind.
Okay.
And I wanted to play my football career, and then I wanted to go into broadcast journalism. I wanted to be, you know what I'm saying?
Stephen A. Smith.
Not really Stephen A.
But like that
he
job.
Wasn't no athlete. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your place, Stephen A. Just because you loud don't make you right. But anyway.
Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
There we go.
Club
there
Shake
we go.
Shake.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Okay.
But yeah, man. So that was my plan.
Yeah.
And so when I got to Minnesota, they did have like a communications pathway.
Okay.
But what happened was I ended up losing my uncle suddenly. He was our pastor as well at Faith Deliverance. Harold Johnson Sr., he passed away preaching. And that just like messed me up. And this is my freshman year in college. And then I go back. Spring break, my grandfather, he dies. And so he was one of my biggest inspiration for football because he used to tell me all his stories when I was a kid. And so I just felt like I was too far from family. I ended up coming back home, going through the grieving process. And then once I kind of wake up and I feel okay one day, I'm like, oh, shoot. I just walked away from my dream that I was working on for the last 14 years of my life.
Wow.
And so really depressed, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this part or this story or this moment in my life where I woke up for 3 years and I looked myself in the mirror and I called myself a bum audibly. I looked myself in the face and I told you, yo, you ruined your life. You're going to be a bum. You ain't going to never. I opened my mouth and I said those words. And so my mom, I'll never forget, I'm working at Radio Shack at the time where I became a man. And I hate my job, And she told me one day, she was like, Kim, you need to stop saying you hate your job. And you need to thank God for the job you have and the one that you're going to get. And I changed my perspective in such a way that every time I thought negatively, I would say it out loud, positively. I thank you for my job and I thank you what I'm going to get. Well, within a few weeks, I started selling cars. Eventually, I started hating that. Within a few weeks, I kept the same mindset, though. I started subbing. And once I started subbing is when I got back into school. And I bumped into the program at UMKC, which was communications, to continue my communications degree, but to focus on film and media arts. And so that's how I got into video production.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Dope. And then when you get into video production, this is a different time in the world.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
there's no way to use it.
I was about to say I was literally about to say, like, this idea that you can create a video and push it didn't exist.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, it's Hollywood or commercials, TV. I mean, that's kind of it.
It was a piece of paper on my wall for 10 years.
And so, when you go, what was your dream? Was your dream to be in Hollywood?
So, honestly, because I started subbing, my mindset was, this is the closest I am to a degree to where I can become a teacher. Because when I started subbing, I found out I had a gift to teach. And then I started coaching. And once I started coaching, I was like, oh, this is where I want to be.
Hooked.
So I went and I was trying to become a teacher. So I finished my communications degree to teach. So literally, I started teaching journalism. I was able to talk to my principal into starting like a YouTube class, which
that's cool.
I shouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah, but that's dope.
When I tell you the stuff we made was fire. Like we remade Family Matters called School Matters. Redid all the characters. Man, them kids was dope, bro. That was the greatest time in my teaching career. Like we redid Saved by the Bell. I ain't gonna say the name of that because I'm gonna make that again one day. Come
on, hold on to that.
Hold
on to that.
But bro, when I tell you, like, just an amazing time with those kids, and that's what locked me in. But that was the only outlet I had for using my film degree, was basically just teaching my students. And then I'll make like family videos. If y'all want to see something crazy, go to The Church Boy on YouTube. DACHURCHBOI.
I love that.
It's still out there, man. And you can see a creator before they knew what they was gonna be. So,
I love that.
So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So that was my only outlets, and it wasn't even a thought. Like, and I'm gonna tell you this. I was talking to Nate before we started about one of my favorite movies is Click. Adam Sandler's Click.
Where they can stop the time.
Yeah. During all of this time that I'm talking about, me becoming a teacher or me getting my degrees, I was living life on autopilot. I literally was okay with, and nothing's wrong with this. But I was okay with just being a teacher for the rest of my life, coaching for the rest of my life. I do want to coach for the rest of my life, but I was just fine with it. And no big dreams, no aspirations. My big dream was over. I wanted to play football. I ruined it. Boom. So now you just gonna get a job and live your life. No dreams, no aspirations, bro. And then, I don't know, bro. I just woke up one day and it was like, get to work, start creating, tell your stories. And, a few years later, I don't want to skip none of your questions.
Yeah, no,
But,
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. 'Cause
yeah,
that's fire. You talked about being on autopilot, and that's so interesting to me. Like, as a dreamer, right? Which I love that title. I got some merch that say that. Like,
Yeah.
I love that. How hard was it to dream again? Because that's a heavy question. Because like I'm a former athlete as well.
Yeah.
And I remember when the Lord was like, "You're done,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Nah."
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
He's like, no. You're done. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want you to play no more.
Yeah.
You can coach. I want you to pour back into, like, I'm using you differently. And that was rough.
Yeah. So
and,
he told you could coach, and you, no, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And you still quit? No, I'm just playing. I'm sorry.
Because he didn't want me to coach there. See, he put me somewhere else. You feel me? He put me somewhere else. And that's why he was going to use me.
Yeah.
And so I remember it being and it was like a year, 2 years before I was like, okay, I got what's next.
Yeah.
Like, it took me a little bit to dream again.
Yeah.
Because I like you said, I had one dream for 20-something years.
Yeah.
And then it was like, that's over. And so, how did you get into that problem? You said you woke up. What was that? What was that like?
It took me 14. It took me 14 years. And I always think about, like, what if I could have started then? You know. So actually, I started Ubering.
Okay.
And this was after I had stopped coaching at that
Yeah.
spot, and money was low. I was like, oh, shoot, that's some money that I'm missing that I usually would have.
Yeah.
And so
that's fair. Yeah.
I was like, I got to start doing something. So I started Ubering as a part-time job. And so when I started Ubering, I got now people in my car that I'm not used to having conversations with.
Yeah.
And, you know, $1 million company here and $1 million company there, and on my way to this event to meet with this billionaire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on. Like, I used to have these conversations. I used to think like this.
Yeah.
This was my mindset from the age of 4 all the way till 19 until, you know, I messed up my opportunity.
Yeah.
And it just lit that fire, you know, and it fixed my taxes to have a business. Because I had been paying crazy taxes for years. And then when I started Uber, I had all these tax cuts. I was like, well, I need a business.
And then I could
have to keep, you know, having these tax cuts.
Yeah.
And so it just made sense. And I'm a very logical person.
Yeah.
So the financial side of it made sense. And then that dream side, I honestly can't tell you what made me realize it was gonna be content. Like, because, you know, I thought it would be a business. I thought it would be this. And actually, I can say this. I have an end game, and it's to, you know, start some businesses that I can hand over to my son.
Yeah.
And I realize that I'm a 6'5" black man with extremely coarse hair. It's going to be hard for, you know, somebody to just say, hey, here's $200,000. So I was like, let me go get it myself, and I'm going to use my talents to get it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my early mindset for it. So yeah, man. So yeah.
And so you get started. What's the first platform you start on?
I started on Facebook.
Okay.
I started on Facebook.
Okay.
And I had a page called Churchify the World.
I love Churchify, man.
Bro.
I'm a Churchify.
The days,
I was at first show, second show.
Yeah,
I love Churchify. So you come up with Churchify, and Churchify is almost like a conglomerate of talent.
Well, that wasn't the initial, actually.
Okay, so talk to me.
It was a faceless channel.
Oh.
And what I was doing was I was editing videos where my thing was Churchify the world, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to show the church what's funny about the world. I'm going to show the world what's funny about the church. And hopefully in the middle, it's going to be some people that be like, man, it ain't so bad. Maybe I can try it out.
Yeah.
And so I was doing these skits. And the sad part is none of this stuff is posted because it got deleted when I lost my Facebook years ago.
Oh, I remember that.
But yeah, it was tough. But I remember I had like Tasha Cobb's music performing behind Designer. And so I edited it. It was him performing Panda.
Yeah.
But the way I edited it, it looked like he was singing
Tasha
Cobb. So like stuff like that.
Got you.
And so that's how I started. And I was starting to grow. And I had my first big hit when Tony Romo took his last big hit. That's not funny. I'm sorry. So when Tony Romo got injured, for the last time, I made this edit
Yeah.
of just Cowboys fans crying, and it ended up getting like 60,000 views. That was my
Wow.
first time getting like a
Yeah.
large amount of views.
Yeah.
And somebody in the city found out Church Fire the World was Cam, and they asked, Cam, is Church Fire the World you? I was like, yeah. And all of a sudden, I don't know why, nobody wanted to share the videos anymore.
Oh, wow.
And so I ended up, like, my next 3-4 videos I posted got like 15 views, and I set it down for like a couple years. So then when you see it again, is when I reach out to other comedians, Outlandish Lando at the time, who's now a pastor.
Yeah, killing it out in Leavenworth, too.
Yeah. Seeing Comedy, Clarence Lomax. JR Saxophonics, my best friend, one of my best friends. He's a saxophonist. This funny guy, Robert Jackson, comedian. Lamar Cherry, who's now a pastor as well.
Got his own church.
I'm trying to make sure I ain't forgetting nobody.
Trey Cobb.
Man, if it wasn't for Trey, if it wasn't for Bobby C, if it wasn't for Robert Coppage the third,
man, I ain't heard that in a minute.
there would not be a BigCamIAm, bro. He brought such an element to, because he started having me come to his improv stuff, and I'm just going to support, but I really learned how to carry on in that creative space. And me and him, bro, I was about to start with the squad I named. And it's funny, he's the last guy that comes up because I just bump into him in my middle school, Northwest Middle School. He's about to perform. He was a sub in for Sauce, I think. And he was like, man, if you got anything you trying to do on camera, I'm like, bro, I'm literally about to start doing skits. We did not film one skit until Trey came on the squad.
That's crazy.
And it was all gas, no breaks after that. So yeah, bro, Trey, man. Trey Cobb / Bobby C / Robert Coppage III. Wouldn't be no BigCamIAm without him, bro.
That's dope. That's super dope.
That's my dog. That's my little big bro. He had to show me the way. You know what I mean?
Him around, man. I got me a couple of them, man. That's cool. And so you start Church of Fire. But so when y'all do Church of Fire, you got the skits, but then you got the live show. So what made you like lean more into the content versus like the live?
So it's funny because I was actually doing stand-up comedy before the skits. And so that's why we started the live shows, because I'm like, I mean, yeah, we're going to do these videos, but we're going to use that to start traveling and touring as a comedian. And so I wouldn't even say that we chose to lean more. COVID shut it down.
Forgetting
COVID. COVID was such a time.
I be forgetting
what
COVID
a time to be alive.
What a time to still be alive.
Yeah, exactly. Because we lost a lot of people. And what's crazy about COVID, I remember, this is the part people don't talk about. You remember when we were scared to check the mailbox because we didn't know if COVID was like floating around? Like, we didn't know if you got COVID from a handshake, a hug, a sneeze, a cough, or a hello. We didn't know where COVID was coming from. And so, like, when that happened and the world shut down, literally I had my biggest comedic performance coming up at this mega church. I was like, bro, I'm about to kill. I'm about to be out here. And the night before that performance, they shut the world down. And so we couldn't do our skits anymore because we couldn't get together. We couldn't do our shows anymore because we couldn't get together. And it was a year before, I probably at least 8 months before you could even go sit in a space and do anything. And so during that time, all of us started to kind of do our individual thing. And that's when everybody they all blew up before me, bro. I was struggling. Man, they would call me, man, just got 1 million views. I'm like, oh, that's dope, bro. And I was really happy for him. And then I get off the phone and I look at mine, 300. Okay. My day's coming. You know? And so at this time, are you still on Facebook? Have you moved platforms? So it's funny. I was still on Facebook and barely, kind of on Instagram, barely really posting anything on YouTube. But I finally downloaded TikTok because I just kept seeing these funny videos. It was just hilarious. I'm like, bro, they over there wilding. Let me download the app so I can stop watching everybody's story. And just watch it myself. And I dropped a couple skits and I got more than 300 views.
And you was like, wait a minute.
Like, oh shoot, I got 307 views.
There we go.
Hold on.
It's up.
And they comment.
Oh,
and they like
some engagement.
You know what I'm saying? They retelling my jokes.
Yeah.
and say, you know how to treat people over here on TikTok.
It's nice over
They
here.
speaking to the dreamer. Okay. And so that's when I started doing the TikToks or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I'm not gonna lie. So I definitely had some of that cringe stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But y'all will never see it because I've went back
Scrub.
to the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And every video that ever made me feel weird since I got on, like
Yeah.
I've taken it down. So I didn't even delete it. I just made it private.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's still if you want to see somebody's journey, I left that stuff out there. But you're not gonna see me rapping with a face filter on about.
I remember those.
Yeah,
videos.
it was bad.
I
bro.
remember them. Like, oh, Cam's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I like Cam.
it was bad.
Cam's funny.
It was bad. It was horrible. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I wake up one day, I'm rapping.
Yeah.
Then I'm playing the keyboard.
Yeah, I remember when you was playing the keys.
Yeah. Then I'm singing. Why? What am I doing? I just had about a couple weeks ago I did a singing video.
Yeah.
No auto-tune, just ashy voice. And I look at that video, I'm like, Cam, why? Why didn't you turn the postpaid and delay on? Like, put some tune on your voice. Like, you're out here ashy voiced. Anyway. So yeah.
So you get to TikTok and you like, oh, I found my people.
Yeah.
And then, so I love your content. I think your content is so different. So it's political comedy.
Yeah.
Appreciate
that.
Which is unique, right? It's like we see with like a guy like Dave Chappelle.
Mm-hmm. My goat.
I love Dave Chappelle. But it's the idea that you can take real life, things that we all see, throw a comedic flavor on it, but also put some commentary to it. How did you end up there? And then how are you leveraging that to, you know what I'm saying, use your platform in a positive way?
So, another satisfying racial moment. Shoot, I got to tell you the first one, which actually I think I tell on my comedy special. So I'm going to go ahead and spoil a little bit. Another satisfying racial moment was something that I started saying in high school. And like I've been saying this for years, and only like my family and a few close friends had ever heard it.
Yeah.
And it was just basically something would happen where it would be like, yo, this is weird. They trying to treat me like this, but it would end up going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally, bro, the first time I ever heard it, I'm gonna just tell the story. I was trying to hold it for the special, but it's all good.
Hey, man.
So I'm at
teaser. It's a little teaser.
I'm at Quick Trip.
Yeah.
And I'm walking past this car, old raggedy Cadillac, rusted out bottom, you know. And as I'm walking past, the lady locks the door.
Mm.
You know, locking the door back then.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, you hear it. The whole parking lot here.
And so I was just like, dang. And she looking at me like, yeah, you ain't getting in this car. I'm like, bro, I don't want your raggedy car. Like, I have a 1999 Ford ZX2. Yeah, I'm 6'5", and my hair from a haircut is on the roof, but my car is new. Yours is old. I don't want that. And so, boom, I go in Quick Trip. Well, I guess she got comfortable. She comes in too to get some mints or some Werthers or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, they buy at Quick Trip. And so, shout out to all my elderly, no disrespect.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there looking at her, and my first instinct, because I was a prankster type dude. Mm-hmm. I wanted to growl at her for real, give her a reason to be scared of me, but I decided not to. So she checks out, and I check out at the same time. I end up holding the door for her. Yeah. So boom, I hold the door. She walks out the door. She looks back. Why, thank you, young man. I said, you're welcome, man. Well, as soon as that happens, I hear this music pull up right in front of us. You know what I'm saying? 369. Yeah. So boom, I'm like, dang, bro, I just changed this lady's life, and now here we come being us, about to send her back to her.
Yeah, now she's scared again.
Yeah, but as I looked at the car, it was two white boys with backwards caps. You know what I'm saying? Looking in full-fledged Malibu's most wanted regalia. You know what I'm saying? Like, be rad in a mug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at that moment, bro, I promise you, standing in front of Quick Trip, in my head, I heard another satisfying racial moment, and that was it.
That's crazy.
And so I go home, I tell my family the story. Everybody laughs when I get to the end. So from then on, literally from high school all the way up until the first video was posted, anytime any of us had a moment like that, we would say another satisfying racial moment. Everybody would sing together. And
that's crazy.
That's where it came from.
Huh.
And so I'll never forget, I had a conversation one time with Gerald Houston.
Yeah.
and we was man, I was just desperate. I wanted to be successful in content. So much so I called him on Facebook. And
Yeah.
I really feel like calling somebody on Facebook is one of the creepiest things you can do. But I really wanted this. And
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do.
he answered the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I'm sorry for calling you on Facebook. This is weird. I don't have your number.
Yeah.
But man, I want this, bro. He sat there on the phone with me for an hour and broke down the game. Man, it was straight love. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
I know another satisfying racial moment is taboo. People ain't gonna understand it, but I'm gonna do it how I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
And I dropped the first video. It hit 13 million, and the rest was history. February 1st, 2022.
Wow.
That was the first day I ever dropped another satisfying racial moment, and so here we are 3 years later.
Yeah.
And building a community and, on not just TikTok, but now Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah.
Wherever y'all scrolling.
Yeah.
We got a profile,
No, it's there. And it's big time. It's doing numbers.
Yes, sir.
And so, but my question is, because I talk about this all the time on the pod, it's like, people mistake virality with success. So you go viral, you hit 13 million. How are you able to leverage that formula to stay consistent and to build something that's sustainable?
Well, I really had to make the decision that it's not just about the views. And I ain't gonna lie, social media it's very addictive. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
And it actually does something to the frontal cortex. You know what I'm saying? When you get those numbers, even before you get those numbers, maybe you have a comment that goes viral.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you keep going back to see what
I had
people
a
are saying to you.
post the other day on their story. It was like, I guess people like this comment, and she had like 13,000 likes on the comment, and it was like a one sentence.
Yep.
And I was like, I guess.
Yeah. And
but you're right. I understand the idea. Was like, because even like my niece talks about it all the time. She's like, people like my dances.
Yeah.
She's talking about TikTok.
Yeah.
They love when I do this dance.
Exactly.
And I was like, okay, cool.
Exactly. And so when I had that happen,
Yeah.
I just remember thinking like, okay, it's not gonna ever be a high like this again.
Yeah, not your first one.
So I can't chase that. So I'm gonna drop, and I'm gonna keep talking about stuff, and I'm gonna keep making impact. And I started seeing conversations happening in the comments where people that weren't of my culture were starting to learn and asking genuine questions. And I start seeing such a conversation in the comments that really touched my heart. And I'm like, man, I'm changing.
Yeah.
I'm helping teach people, and people start sending me messages. Man, bro, sending me messages. I've been depressed for so many months. My son died, and I came home and just found your content. I've been watching it for the last 6 hours, and it's the first time I laughed in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And once I started seeing stuff like that, I knew it was bigger than me. It was bigger than, virality. It was about like people need to be able to look at something, see themselves, hear themselves, feel themselves, know that they're not alone, know that they're not crazy. Yeah, the way that they looked at you was crazy. Yeah, they grabbed your hair without telling you. That was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like they did say, oh, you read well. That is crazy. It's not normal to think like this and to talk like this and to treat people like this.
Yeah.
So let's put it out there. Let's be better. And I just stuck with it, man. And I still get people that try to mischaracterize it and, calling me all kind of out of my. I had somebody one time in my inbox, what's up, N-word with an ER. You was raised wrong on God. You just called me. Called me the N-word and said I was raised wrong.
Oh God, it's crazy.
In 2024, this happened. Like, bro,
that is crazy.
I was raised wrong. I've never in my life called anybody in the world a racial epithet. I've never done it. I've never said any of those. I've done some stuff that was wrong. I've told some jokes that were wrong, but I've never disrespected anybody on that level. So to have somebody tell me I was raised wrong, obviously I've had death threats,
which is crazy.
Yeah, man, off of a jingle,
off of a 30-second video.
What is so violent and toxic about me smiling through pain. You know what I'm saying? Oh, because it's supposed to break us. That's what it is. It's, racism, classism, all that stuff is supposed to break us, and we're not supposed to be able to still smile and laugh and dance and have a good time and enjoy each other and have the same issue and still have a good time. Yeah. It's and when people see that it doesn't break you, now they try to demonize it. Yeah. When they the one that's full of demons. Yeah. So yeah, man. Once I realized, somebody. Yeah, we preaching.
That's a word for somebody. Music. That's a word for somebody. Sir. Okay. Yeah. No, I love that, man. And so one of the things that I think a lot of leaders get caught up into, and even like content or just in life in general, is like falling victim to the noise. And so social media is amplified, especially if you are a partner and invited to all the cool parties and stuff. You are getting noise every video. Are you in the comments? Are you like, how do you navigate that field without losing yourself?
Yeah, so I got some friends that are very successful in content, and they tell me, Cam, get out them comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, drop your video
and go on.
Comment back to like the first 2-3 people that come through, and then lead. Don't ever go back. But I can't. They just be talking too reckless. And so every now and again, I don't pop out much, but when I pop out, I'm going to pop out.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, I don't really do the back and forths. If I see a legitimate question that I can partake in discussion with, I'll do that. And I've had some like legitimate, deep conversations in my inbox with people. Came in full guns a-blazing, and we were able to discourse and come to a place of understanding. I ain't gotta be right, you ain't gotta be right. But can you understand me? And can I understand you? That's all that matters to me. And so having that ability to understand that, some people is just they're not, their mind's not gonna be changed, and it's no point in trying to go back and forth with them. I'll never forget the first time I went viral, the 13 million. The comments was insane.
I bet.
And the stuff that was said, bro.
13 million people in the comment section.
Bro,
sounds
it was crazy.
Ludicrous.
And I remember, I was like, man, oh, no, they talking.
Oh, you was on it.
And then I started looking at the comments, though, and my people showed up like the Avengers and Endgame. Portals just opening up. And I'm like, wait a minute.
I
ain't got to say nothing.
Yeah.
And once I realized, like, we were really building a community, and I just started to focus. I'm only going to talk to the people that are really trying to have a conversation. Yeah. I'm going to engage in some of the funny too, because the comments be hilarious too.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go back and forth. They say when you see two people arguing from a distance, you can't tell who's crazy, who's a fool. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to get caught up in that.
Yeah. And so it's just a fun question.
Yeah.
What platform do you think has the worst comment section?
Dang. The worst? What do you mean by worst?
Like the most where you see the craziest off the wall stuff.
Man. Probably I see the craziest stuff on YouTube.
I was gonna say
because there's no character limit.
I was gonna say on YouTube.
I be saying essays, but like, bro, you just wrote me your whole life story, and I'm not gonna read it. How do you feel?
I'm not going to read this. Do they do that on your shorts?
Bro, yes.
See, that seems ridiculous.
Yes,
it took you more time to write this comment.
A minute. It's a minute-long video, and you've been researching. You've been copying and pasting and putting this in your notes or going to a Google Doc. You typed this in a Google Doc. You typed and then you copied it after a week-long rant. And you pasted it in my comment section, and I didn't read it. I didn't read it.
That's just a whole nother episode. Bro. But that's funny. I was gonna say I thought YouTube as well.
Yeah, I thought there's no character limit, bro.
I be on people's videos, and I see, so I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why did you write this?
Yeah, Instagram is kind of like the cool place. Like everybody's just trying to have a good time.
Out, man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's mellow. Yeah. TikTok, they got the character limit.
Yeah.
Facebook, I done had a few pop off, but I ain't really went insane there yet. You know what I'm saying? So feel free.
To share.
Yeah.
Like the page.
Go ahead and follow your boy over there. You know, we climbing.
Come on now.
I think we had 19K over there. You know what I'm saying?
Like you growing.
You know,
you growing that. Yeah, you growing that. That's fire. So yeah, man, I want to honor your time. Because this has been amazing, by the way.
I'm enjoying it, bro.
Yeah, this has been incredible. What's I always like to ask this question, man, at the end.
Yeah.
If there were 3 things you could tell someone who wanted to lead, and especially, I think because of your expertise with content, what are 3 pieces of advice you would give them if they were going to start today to just try to become a leader on some kind of platform?
Well, I feel like you got to know what you want, and you absolutely got to be dedicated. Like, so many people ask me all the time, what I got to do? And I'm like, you really want to know?
Yeah.
Or you want me to, like, fluff? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you got to really know this game. And people don't understand. I have a film and media degree. It's not just film. It's media.
Yeah. So
I'm checking analytics. I'm working on the titles of my videos, the caption of my videos, the what is it called, the thumbnail of my video. Like, I'm trying to do every single thing I can to find visibility. You know what I'm saying? On top of obviously finding the right topic. So I think knowing really what you want to do is extremely important. And then, like, stop looking at the views. That's one of the biggest things, bro. Like, people come back, man, I did what you said, bro. Like, oh, you did? Yeah, bro. I only got like 100 views. And I'm like, oh, okay. I did it for 6 years. I did it for 6 years before I went viral.
Yeah.
I did it for 4 years before anybody was really watching me. So you did it for how many videos? Oh, I did 2 videos. Oh, okay. You don't want it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, stop looking at the views. When I first started posting on YouTube, I was getting millions of. I probably had, like, in a 2-month span, at the beginning of my Another Satisfying Racial Moment videos, I probably had like 30 million views.
Wow.
In like the first couple months.
Wow.
And then I'm posting them same videos on YouTube, which I was recruited by YouTube to start posting over there.
Yeah.
And I'm getting 17. 17. Not
on
17.
The same video that did.
Bro, 17, 78, 59. I remember looking at the lineup of videos and seeing 59, 78, 17, 37. And, like, I had to stop looking at that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, surely if I'm getting millions over here, it's people over here that want to see me too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once I stopped looking at the views and I really locked in, that's when it took off. And once it took off, it was like wildfire. And so know what you want to do. Stop looking at the views. And at the end of the day, man, just I would say probably just don't let it change you.
Yeah.
I would like to think, I hope that I'm the same Cam.
Man, you the same
that
Cam.
You met 10 years ago.
You the same Cam. Your hair a little longer.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, gray hairs from that one season. You know what I'm saying? Face probably a little wider. People always be like, man, you getting taller? Bro, what 30-year-old you know that's still having growth spurts? I'm getting wider. I'm growing horizontally.
Taking more space up, but it's not vertically.
You know what I'm saying? I'm closer to the other houses around me than I used to be. I'm not closer to the clouds. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, don't let it change you, bro. I've only been big dog once in my travels, in the rooms I've been in. I've been in some crazy rooms. No Diddy rooms. Never been in no Diddy rooms.
Praise the Lord.
Dang, no black man tearing down another black man. I'm sorry. No rooms.
No, he's treacherous. Yeah, he's treacherous.
That's true. I find it hard to feel bad for somebody
he's
doing people dirty.
Treacherous.
Or should I say doing people Diddy. Anyway.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I ain't been in those rooms, but I've been in some, like, rooms that, like, as a kid I dreamed about. You know what I'm saying? Being in a Nickelodeon space, like, in my 30s, like, dang, bro, where the slime at? That's all I'm worried about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, And I've only been big dog one time by somebody that I admired, and at that time didn't have a big enough platform, I guess, to talk to them. And then seeing them again a year later, hey man, move around, bro. You a lame. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember you.
Stay how you was, because that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm staying who I am. And so I've seen this thing change a few people, man. Just stay who you are.
Yeah.
Keep your convictions afoot. Definitely got to do that, because when you start, we didn't go there today on this episode, but when you start having some motion, you know what I'm saying, there's definitely going to be things that are put in front of you, you know, that you didn't have access to when you was, you know, in the back, you know. And so, you gotta lock in and make sure you stay who you are. So
no, I love that. And so if you got your notepads out, I want to make sure I reiterate that, because I want you guys to catch that.
Yeah.
And this is from somebody who's honestly made it to where a lot of people dream of. And he's still working, and he still got, I know he has milestones he wants to hit.
Sure.
But I mean, for a lot of people, if they were to say, you could be this and put your stuff up, they'd be like, I'll take it. So from somebody who's made it to this place, I want you to make sure you hear these things. He said, one, you have to know what you want to do, which I think that is super key. That's something that we embody here at The Ladder, is like, hey, we talk about leadership. There's a lot of other stuff we could talk about.
Yeah.
We could get caught up in we talk about leadership. That's what we do. Okay? I know it ain't fancy. Me and Nate be talking about view. We know, but it's okay. We do what we do, and it's going to get where we want to go, because when people know, the right people gonna latch on. Yeah. So know what you want to do. He said, don't change, which I love that too.
Yeah.
I love that too. Like, you got to be the same tomorrow as you are today, at least in your convictions, right? Clothes should get a little softer, car get a little quieter. Some of that, I'm cool with that. But
it's kind of soft.
That,
it ain't nothing crazy.
And that look like butter though.
It's not no brand.
That look like butter though.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I love the last thing. He was like, man, don't look at them views.
Yeah.
Don't look at them views.
It ain't worth it.
And I love that, because I just actually watched they got a huge YouTube channel, and they was interviewing the dude from Patreon. And I watched their interview the other day, and they was talking about how, like, that is like the hardest part of becoming, like, trying to build as a creator, is not letting the views dictate what you do.
Yeah.
It's like, because what'll happen is, and I got one of my little homies, I'm like, hey, you want to do this, it's cool, but don't just do it because you think other people want you to do it. Because then you'll be trapped doing something you don't want to do.
Facts.
And that's just as bad as being in a job you don't like.
Yeah.
Like, having to create content you don't like,
man,
might be even worse.
Yeah.
It might be even worse than being at a job you don't like.
Yeah.
And so I love those things. I think those things apply inside content and just to life in general.
Yeah.
And I'm just, honestly, bro, I'm humbled that you pulled up.
Nah, man. I've been waiting, bro.
This has been amazing, and I know that some people are gonna get something from it.
Yes.
And that's what we do this for. Absolutely. And so I just want to make sure I tell you thank you. And it's been like to see you at Church of Five, to see you do your Facebook stuff, to be able to come to your first ever comedy special, to be in the building, to get in the back room, get the VIP, get the back room and hear the gems, and just to see you pour back into people and bring people in. It's been amazing. And I'm excited that this is the beginning for you. And because I know with the ideals and dreams, I see you in the movie, like, to see where you're gonna go. It's just an honor to be part of the crowd, honestly, man.
I appreciate that, and I gotta say, I appreciate you, because you can get all that love from all over the world. Like, I've had support from people in Brazil and Italy, and over in Asia, and obviously all over America, but that love from home, bro, it just feels different. And when, somebody else that's in your field can look at you and say, yo, bro, I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. I'm going to support your events. I'm going to come to the things that you put together. That means so much, bro. And I really thank you, bro, for, attending my events, my comedy shows. You saw the first ones. You saw the special. I'm sure you're going to see the ones that get posted on the streaming platforms in the future. But it means everything, bro, for real.
Nah, it's dope, man.
Yes, sir.
So, hey, man, hey, as always, y'all, it's been an honor, it's been a privilege hanging out with y'all. I mean, y'all could be anywhere else,
Yeah.
but you hang out with us, and I don't take that for granted, y'all. So until next time, I'm going to holler at you, man. Peace.
Yes, sir.